Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat, a series in partnership between WINPEG and the Monmouth Independence Chamber of Commerce for our community to have an opportunity to get to know our members both professionally and personally a little bit better. Joining me today, I have Sean Irvine, who is the Economic Development Director for the City of Independence. So thanks for being here.
Hey, happy to be here.
All right, so you're not originally from the Monmouth Independence area. Why did you choose to work for the City of Independence?
Well, it's kind of a funny story. I was actually in the Peace Corps in Paraguay in South America. I grew up in Eugene, so not too far away, and was looking for something to do when I came back. Found a job announcement for a community development position here in Independence. They actually did a phone interview with me when I was down in Paraguay and hired me, and I've been here ever since.
So now, when did you start with the City of Independence?
It's been almost 10 years ago. It was 2005.
Wow,
Yeah.
It's been almost 10 years. So how long were you in the Peace Corps?
About 4 years.
All right.
I stayed a little longer than the norm.
So that was obviously an experience that you liked and was worth staying a little bit longer.
Yeah, I was doing municipal development work, working with the local government, working with neighborhood commissions, things like that. Just kind of, it was democracy was a new concept down there, so kind of just trying to work with people to help understand what that means, the idea of actually talking to your government, the idea of the government actually listening to the people. It seemed strange to us, but it was a pretty new concept down there. It was pretty interesting.
So how were you able to take your Peace Corps experience and translate or transfer those skills into what you do with the City of Independence?
Well, here, a lot of what I do, what I was hired for at that time, and I still really do, is a lot of working with volunteers, neighborhood commissions, volunteer groups, downtown association, helping them essentially be more effective, partnering with the city to get things done, leveraging what they're doing, leveraging what the city's doing, and really just trying to work together with the community to accomplish things.
So what would you say so far, professionally in general, maybe with the City of Independence or beyond, what's been one of your greatest professional accomplishments so far?
The two things I think I'm most proud about, at least, there's several things obviously, but the two things I'm most proud about was we built 2 playgrounds. And it was volunteers in the neighborhood raised a bunch of money, the city matched it, and then the best part was we had basically all the neighbors get together and actually build the playground. Mm-hmm. And that just, it took a couple days, but we had 50, 60 people, kids running around. It was just a blast. And then of course to see the kids playing on the playground afterwards is just great.
I had a little bit of an experience with that when I worked for the City of Charlotte in North Carolina before moving out here. One of the neighborhoods got a Kaboom grant and built a playground, so some of us went out to help, and just watching the energy of neighborhood residents getting together, and then the after effect of watching the kids just run and play, and it's like they have this nice, safe playground. It was really fun.
Yeah, it's just everybody gets excited about it. It's a fun time. The Lions were there cooking lunch. Everybody got involved. So. And
then now when you go past the playground, you can see people still using it and playing on it, and it's still having an impact in the community.
Exactly.
So what would you say, speaking of our community, what do you think makes the Monmouth Independence area really stand out, separate itself from others?
Honestly, I think it's the people. It's the attitude that the people here have, both in the city governments and in the community. That we're helping each other out. We're working together. We're just trying to accomplish things. If there's a good idea, if somebody has a good idea, somebody else will be out there to say, yeah, let's do that. I'll work with you on it, and then we'll make it happen.
So you've had direct experience, obviously, with volunteers that make it happen. The City of Independence in 2014 won the All-America City Award. It was one of the, was it 9?
There was 10 winners.
10.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, and I believe the theme for that was based on the community volunteer spirit.
Yeah.
So obviously, the City of Independence has had a lot of volunteer efforts that have been successful. Your dog park, to name one. And so that whole flavor of the community being volunteer-driven is just obvious.
Yeah, and that's kind of something that we always talk about especially with my current position as Economic Development Director. We take the big picture view of economic development. It's not just bringing new business to town. It's creating a livable community. It's creating a place where people want to live, work, and play. And it all kind of goes into that pitch when you are talking to businesses about coming to town. You're not just saying, oh, we've got cheap taxes and we've got these benefits or these incentives and these other programs. It's look at our downtown. We've got this great downtown. We've got this dog park. We've got running trails. Your employees will want to live here. It's a great place to be.
Right. Speaking of employees, Independence, we're filming this now in the beginning of March, and announcements were made previously already this year with the new call center coming in. Mm-hmm. So you talk about economic development, bringing jobs to the community, bringing residents to the community, that's a big change or a big addition. 300 jobs ultimately, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, and so when we talk about accomplishments, I mean that's obviously something I'm very proud about as well. But it's a team effort. It's not like it was just me that was able to do this. But yeah, this call center, they're an Oregon company. They've got 5 other locations. They chose Independence as a place to open up their sixth call center. They do kind of customer service and tech support, and they work. They really care about their employees. And so, but yeah, if they're saying they're going to start with 20 to 50 employees and they want to be up around 300 within a year or two, that would make them the largest employer in Independence or Monmouth, private employer, and really one of the largest in the county. So that will have a very dramatic and positive impact on our community. When you think about 300 people, even if you're just talking minimum wage, you're talking about a $6 million payroll that's going to get spent here in our 2 communities. So
and you're the one person who works there, but then that person, if there's a spouse or a partner or children or a greater family, then those people are also having an impact into the community as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you're giving more people reason to come to Independence. You're giving people who already live here reason to stay. You're creating a wide range of jobs. You've got from the entry level all the way up to white collar professional management at this place. So you're really going to be bringing a good variety of people to the community.
All right. So let's talk about you as a person. You referenced being in the Peace Corps. That was a personal decision, I'm assuming, after college to experience the world in a different way. What would you say has been one of your greatest personal accomplishments?
Okay, you surprised me on that one. I've got all the standard answers of, I got married, I've got 2 kids, they're great kids, all that kind of thing. But honestly, I'd say joining the Peace Corps. I'm not a at least I wasn't a jump out there and do new things kind of a guy. And that was kind of a big change for me to say, yes, I'm going to leave the country and go to South America for a while. And, I never was interested in study abroad or any of that kind of stuff. And I'm still not quite sure why I did it. But it was a really good experience for me, obviously, because I stayed about twice as long as the normal length. And I really think it has kind of informed or kind of changed the way I act and do business now in my current position.
So did you get to choose South America, or were you placed there?
A little of both. I got, I was given some broad options, environmental education in West Africa, nonprofit development in Central America. I chose Central America and they sent me to Paraguay. So it was...
well, not Africa, not Asia. Okay.
So, I sort of had a choice.
So did it surprise your family when you said, hey, I'm joining the Peace Corps? If that was out of the box for you?
It did, yeah. It was, they were very happy because they had always been asking me, do you want to do study abroad? Do you want to go do something like that? And they were surprised because I'd always just said, no, I'm not interested. And then all of a sudden I was going to go live in South America.
And then you stayed extra time.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome. That is awesome. Now, the City of Independence is one of our chamber members, obviously, as you're here for Chamber Chat. Through your experience, professionally and personally, what would you say has been one of the better member benefits as far as being a chamber member and what the chamber is able to do? What would you say is one of the better benefits?
I'd say communication. I mean, the biggest part of my job is networking, talking to the local business people, the local real estate agents, citizens about what's going on in town, what needs to be going on in town, projects I'm working on that somebody else needs to be involved in. And so just having those outlets where I can go to one place and I've got 5 or 6 different people I need to talk to, and oh hey, they're all right there, so I could just go to one meeting or one event and kind of check off all these different people I need to talk to, or not have an agenda but talk to a bunch of people and all of a sudden find out about other interesting things that are going on in town. So that's really the benefit to me.
Great, well thank you. So last question, this is my favorite, and anyone who's sat in your chair has heard me say this, that it's my favorite. What is a hobby or interest you have that might surprise some others?
I brew my own beer. I don't know if that'll surprise people, but I started brewing my own beer in college. I even, when I was in Paraguay, I came back for a visit after 3 years. Came back home for a visit, and when I went back to Paraguay, I brought ingredients to brew beer down in Paraguay. So it's definitely a passion of mine and something I really enjoy. And Now that I have kids, I do much less of, but I still enjoy.
Well, good to know. So, Independence is the historic hops capital. Good to know that their city employee is keeping the beer.
Keeping the tradition
there
alive.
you go. Well, Sean, thank you for joining me today
Happy
and
to
being
do
part
it.
of Chamber Chat.
Yeah, it was good.
Hi, and welcome back to Chamber Chat. Joining me now is Cruz Orozco, who is the General Manager at Independence Cinema 8. Thanks, Cruz, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I know you live in the Monmouth Independence area. Why did you choose to take the job as the General Manager at Independence Cinema 8?
Well, I started off there when I was going to school here at Western, actually. So after that, I needed another job too, for extra income. So I started working at the Independence Cinema, which I started as an usher. And then after a while, I tried to learn everything I could about the management position. And when the opportunity came in October 2011, so I took the management position there as a general manager.
Wow, so you really just worked your way up. You
Yes.
started from the bottom, well, that's really great. And you've been there, you said, as the manager since 2011.
Yes.
Wow, so you're 4 years, give or take, whichever month.
Around 4 years.
Wow, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So what did you study at Western?
I was doing, I first started with criminal justice and then minoring in psychology. And as of now, I'm gonna do business. And right now I'm attending school still. So
Okay.
hopefully I can finish that soon.
All right, well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
So now, as someone who's lived in the Monmouth Independence area for a while now, what would you say is a feature that makes our community stand out?
I think the community itself, we have a great community, wonderful people. We have a great city government. So I think working at the movie theater really develops a relationship with every customer we have. So we get to know them personally at times. So I think that's really great about them.
So at the theater, I'm sure, you see people come in on a regular basis. You see families coming out. You see the date nights. You see, girls' night or a guys' night out, and this is people over and over again. It must be fun knowing that people are coming to your business because they want to enjoy a movie,
Yes.
and you get to help make that happen.
Yes. I mean, that's one thing we're really proud of too. Our employees, they, we train them to develop, future success in their chosen careers. And then another one is the community. We try to provide the best customer service as we can so we can continue getting the community to go and support the small businesses. So.
Yeah, and it's been great. In fact, last year, the Chamber, we do an annual Community Awards banquet. And last year, Independence Cinema 8 won in your category, and then you actually won for Business of the Year overall. So you were quite the winner last year.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great for my my staff. They really, it really pushes them to strive for, great customer service. They can understand like, oh, we're doing something right, and it helps them and motivates them, and it brings the community in more. So
yeah,
that
and
helps
then
us out.
this year I liked it because. Again, our voting process is all online, so anyone in our community can vote and participate. And once again, Independence Cinema 8 has been named a finalist, a top 3 finalist, and our awards banquet is next Friday. So winners have not been announced yet. I know who's won, but I'm not allowed to share that. So have to go to the banquet to find that out. But yes. So once again, and I think that says a lot about the cinema and what you do in your customer service and how the community views you. That for 2 years of all the businesses, you have been a top 3 finalist.
Yes, and that feels great. That feels great for us as a company, our staff, and we know that our community is supporting us. So that really means a lot to us.
Well, I know when I moved out here from North Carolina, and the Monmouth Independence, my husband and I, we like the area because it's a small town feel. This community, you have 2 great cities of themselves, but then you just put the community together and just this great feel. And to have a theater that has 8 screens that shows first-run movies, has your concession stand, of course, and it's like, wow, that's a great bonus to our community to have that resource.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's really good because you can get away for a bit with your family and go enjoy a movie, entertain for a few hours, and it's really nice to see them always come back. So that's a really plus on us.
Right. Patty Saunders, who works with Prestige Theaters, the parent company, I've gotten to know her because she helps me with our cinema ads. We, as you know, because you've helped me as well, but we offer our members the ability to have ad space on at the theater on the different screens as you do yourselves, and that's another great opportunity for that the cinema has done for the chamber in letting us split the screen up so that we can have it for our members who want to participate on a smaller scale, and that's been great for our members who've been able to say, yeah, I want my ad up there, and have a chance to be seen by all the people who come into the theater every day,
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. We have a few ads for different businesses, and it's good that customers come out and they're like, oh, so where's this located? And we let them know. I mean, it's a small community. It's growing,
Right.
which is really, really good. I've lived here my whole life, so I can definitely see it growing. And, providing the ads for for other businesses, it's really good to advertise.
Right. So now, what would you say so far has been one of your greatest professional accomplishments?
Well, I think, like I said, starting as an usher and, working my way up, trying to learn all the process of the management. I think that's one of the really good ones for me. So
I think that's a great story that you literally worked your way to the top. And
Yes.
I think that's great. It's inspiring, hopefully, for people as well.
thank you.
So what would you say has been one of, not maybe the, but one of your greatest personal accomplishments?
Personal accomplishments. Right now, I mean, trying to finish school. So that's a really big one for me. Continuing. So, and then working full time. So it's a little challenging, but I always like to accept the challenges. So
It's definitely a balance, going to school full time, working full time, there's definitely a balance to that.
Yeah.
And having a general manager role, you're not just going to work, you are overseeing all your staff and making
Yes.
sure you have all those responsibilities too. So
it definitely has helped me grow. So
it
I
says a lot about your
enjoy it.
character as well.
Oh, thank you.
Now, what would you say, as a member of the chamber, what would you say has been one of the better benefits that you feel like independent cinema has received through your membership with the chamber?
I think mixing with other members and the chamber's advocacy and the representation for small businesses. So I think that's really good that we can all get together and see what we can do to help each other in regards to businesses. So.
And like you said, with the theater being so involved in the community and so many people in the community coming to the theater, I'm glad that you think of the chamber as helping to build those relationships. That's nice.
Oh yes, that's definitely really positive for us. So.
So what has been, at Independent Cinema 8, what has been one of the, since your time, would you say has been one of the most, well, let me start again. So I know you do outreach. You've got midnight movies that one of the fraternities here at Western will do as fundraising opportunity, I think, for them. So what has been some of the other fun outreach that you've done with the community since you've started?
Besides the Western events, I think that's a really good thing for students. It gets them to go there, after hours, and you can see all different types of students. You can build a relationship with them too as well. So that's really good. And
Because don't you also work with Friends of the Independence Library? Don't they do a
yes.
movie night as well?
Yes, we actually have one coming up here on Monday.
Yes, it is.
So,
Yes.
so that's another really good one. And we like hosting the both cities. When
Right, the State of the City's address, that we do.
That's a really good one for us too, because it gets all the businesses owners there, so they can see what's going to happen in the future for the city, for
Right.
both cities. So I think that's a really good thing for us too.
Yeah, it's nice having the State of the Cities at the theater because everyone can see,
Yeah.
the theater seating, and you have plenty of space, and that's a very nice, I definitely appreciate that partnership. Here is my favorite question that I get to ask people every month when we do these. What is a hobby or interest or skill that you have that might surprise people?
One hobby that I think that might surprise people would be I love to golf. If Mother Nature allows us, which I mean here in Oregon it's a few months out of the year, I try to go golfing. So I really, really enjoy it. And that's another thing, like you get away, you're out there in this nice, Oregon's really nice out there. So that's one thing.
Have you
Golf.
played a lot of different courses throughout Oregon or in other locations, or mainly local?
Mainly local. The Cross Creek, which is on 22, and then Oak Knoll, and then there's one in Dallas. So it's just around here.
Okay.
It's not too
Do you
far.
have a dream course? My husband golfs, and you know, you hear or you watch some of the big golf tournaments, you know, St. Andrews over in Scotland, or you go down Pebble Beach in California. You have like, or even Pinehurst, North Carolina. Do you have a dream course?
I think Pebble Beach would be a really, really nice one. I was looking at a few courses online, and there's another one in Hawaii that looks really nice too. So that would be awesome to golf in those two.
Right. Well, you know, going to Hawaii is not a bad thing. You throw
Yeah,
in some
right.
golf, it's not a bad getaway for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Well, Cruz, thank you so much for joining me
Yeah,
and being
thank-
part of Chamber Chat.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, and welcome back to Chamber Chat. Joining me now is Martha Zook, who is a floral designer at Petals and Vines. Welcome, Martha, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Now, your mom, Maggie, has been on the show previously, so we've heard her answers, and people have gotten an opportunity to get to know her. It's all about you today. So tell me this, of all the opportunities that you had, why choose to stay in the Monmouth Independence area and work at Petals and Vines?
Well, I chose to stay in Monmouth 8 years ago due to me having little children. At the time, they were 4 and 6, and it just was a great community. There wasn't a lot of, you know, scary stuff around that other towns like Salem were real scary. We decided to stay, and MES was the perfect school for them, and I just loved the quiet community.
So you and your mom decided to open Petals and Vines together?
Yeah, we did. She called me up and said, hey, what do you think about opening up a flower shop? I lived in Colorado at the time, and I said, yeah, I'm in. So loaded the kids up, and here we are 8 years later.
So why flowers? Well, what is it about having a florist that draws your passion?
Besides the arranging and the artistic side of being and all of that kind of stuff, I enjoy the beauty of what it does for the recipient. Being able to bring joy or comfort into any of that, I really do enjoy seeing the looks, you know, on their faces, whether they're receiving it and I'm delivering, or whether or not it is somebody picking it up and they get to take it to that person. But just being able to bring that passion and joy into what you do.
Sure. Now, with designing arrangements, I'm assuming you look at color and you look at texture. Like what drives you? Is there a certain combination, or you're more color and then texture, or how does that work for you?
Well, I mean, it all depends on the design. What, you know, when somebody calls in, it's, you know, it's good to ask whether or not they want something tall, or if they want something low. It does not matter cost-wise whether or not it is short or tall. When I get to do something in the smaller range, as far as container-wise, you have a much more broader selection of flowers that you get to use. So succulents and putting in all that beautiful texture, and this time of year we get to use cabbages and stuff like that into the arrangements, and they really complement, you know, a calla lily, and, you know, you being able to use the higher end flower, and then bring it out with orchids and just that real yummy texture.
So when you have someone like me who does not know a lot about flowers and just does not have a green thumb, you can ask my volunteers or interns at the office. We have a plant that has slowly just sort of withered away. But, so you have someone like me who doesn't really know anything about flowers, but, you know, wants to order an arrangement and says, you know, make it pretty. I mean, you're able to do that. You're able to help guide someone through the selection process.
Absolutely, absolutely. The best thing to do right off the bat is, you know, what is it for? You know, get to kind of know the occasion, and then, you know, if it's something for sympathy, white and green is always the best thing to choose. It's serenity, it's calming, it's not powerful when somebody is mourning. You want something that's a little bit more subdued so that it allows them to think and process, and it's not a distraction. Birthdays and happies and joys, you always want that, you know, the blend of colors. So you want to do those pinks into yellows and into that green, where it really blends nice and it brings on that happy feeling. And then yellow is always a great one for Get Well. It always has that aura of calming and feeling good.
Sunshiny
Yeah.
warmth.
Absolutely.
That's interesting that so much thought goes behind
Absolutely.
what the feeling's going to be, the feeling that you want to
Yeah.
promote as well. So what would you say so far has been one of your greatest professional accomplishments?
Besides being in business for 8 years, one of my biggest accomplishments was a wedding I did about 3 or 4 years ago. I had a bride come in, and I met with her, and she got married kind of out towards PD, and beautiful outside barn wedding, and she asked me to coordinate it, and I had worked a little bit with that, kind of being in the floral industry for a long time, kind of knew the process, went through it, have been there, done that. But I got to do the whole thing, and I started at about 8 o'clock in that morning on her day and ended at about 2 a.m.
Wow.
So that was, needless to say, I don't think I walked very much, and I now know why coordinators have an army. But I did it on my own, and that was one of my biggest accomplishments right there. Was
The fact that you did
being
it.
able to see the whole thing. I got to see everybody enjoy what I did, and I love that. That's one of my biggest accomplishments right there, is to see the bride's face
So watching other
when
people
you
be
hand
happy.
them their bouquet,
Gotcha.
because it's what's in their head when you first meet with them, and you have to put that together. And so that's one of my greatest joys.
You really are an important part of someone's life, and the joy
Absolutely,
that
you're
to
bringing
someone's
them
life.
their special day, and so
Now, on a personal level, what would you say has been one of your greatest personal accomplishments?
my greatest personal accomplishment would be here in town every Halloween. Walking up and down those streets every Halloween, just this last one was amazing to me. I started the trick or treat around town about 4 years ago. The library, I had already done something, and they were doing something. And when I first moved here 8 years ago, I took my kids trick or treating around town. And everybody looked at me like, "What are you doing?"
Why are you here?
And I thought, this is a community, and we need to bring these kids together and these families together. And so I was with Micah, who are now disbanded now, but we started.
The Community Arts Association, Monmouth
Yep.
Independence Community Arts Association.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we started it, and I walked the streets, beat the streets, and got it all organized. And now I get to watch what has transpired with that, and it's amazing to see everybody get together, and now everybody looks forward to it every year. And it's just knowing that I started that is just it's amazing.
I know both downtowns, businesses do the candy, give out candy to kids, and you see the kids dressed up in costumes. Sometimes parents are dressed up in costumes. This past year, we're in March right now filming this, but in 2014, that Halloween the weather was great for Halloween.
It was
and
beautiful.
So there were probably even more people out, and I remember talking to business owners in both downtowns, and anywhere from 400, maybe 500, 600 kids coming through. I think that's
Yeah.
a lot of candy, a lot of kids,
It
a
is.
lot of energy, a lot of excitement.
It is. It definitely is, and it's just to see the looks on the kids' faces, and it's safe, and it's a lot of the parents, I think, really appreciate it too.
And
know.
it helps trick or treating be easier too for the parents,
Yes.
because you can stay in the downtown instead of going throughout neighborhood or
Yeah.
neighborhood. And right, so congratulations on the
Thank you,
accomplishment.
thank you. It's an amazing thing, and I just love to see it now and know that it's still going.
Well, being a part of this community for as long as you have been, what would you say is a special feature or something that really makes Monmouth Independence stand out?
A special feature. The community. The community is one of the best features for me, and it stood out for me, especially when we went through the fire. When we watched, I got to see the community firsthand come together and just offer to help in any way that they possibly could. And it was a very tragic thing to have to go through, but we've pulled through, and we're okay. And still to this very day, just you hear it, I hear it. Being a business, you hear everything, and just hearing what people say about the town and everything, and how everybody comes together, works together, and it's just a wonderful, safe, welcoming community. I just love how it's quaint and
Yeah, I'm actually 4 years, I think it's yesterday or today, I can't remember the exact date, that I moved to Oregon, actually got into Oregon. And that's definitely something in my 4 years of living here that I appreciate is that small town feel, the
Yeah.
outreach of community, the just the ability to know people. And you can be as involved as you want or not if
Right.
you prefer, but the opportunities are there and there's just a close knit to it and it's comfortable.
It's
know.
very comfortable.
We definitely like living here. So. Now, my last question for you, and by far my favorite, what is a hobby, a skill, or an interest that you have that might surprise people?
Well, that's a hard one. I have several. Art is my biggest thing. So of course, if I say anything art, everyone's going to say, "Well, duh, you're a florist." So I would probably have to say beer making, home brewing.
That is a trend. Had a previous guest today who Sean Irvine with the City of Independence, who brews his own beer, has been doing it for a while, and so you do that as well. I
We
did not
do
know
too,
that.
yeah.
Okay. What
I
got
know.
you started with that?
Just the microbrews. I like a microbrew beer, and watching. I can't remember how we even started on it at all. But just being able to go and get all the ingredients and, we do by grain, so mash tunning and all of that kind of stuff. Just the process, and then knowing that you created it in the end.
Your beer.
It's yours. It's yours.
Well, there you go.
But it's just a process that is kind of fun and relaxing.
All right. Well,
So-
Martha, it's been a pleasure having you, learning a little bit more about you, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.